morning, it's Christine Crutcher from Create with Christine. This is take number 2. My camera fell out of my stand and then my camera flipped and I couldn't figure out how to flip it back. So I just decided to end that live and start fresh. So here I am back again. So those of you that were on with me a few minutes ago, again, I am using the Special Moments stamp set, which is from Sale-A-Bration, 21 photopolymer stamps. And I wanted to use it with since it's all sentiments, I wanted to use it with a stamp set that is just images. So I picked Amazing Silhouettes, which is just 3 cling stamps from the January to June 2022 catalog. You're back. Thanks for coming back, Elaine. So Sale-A-Bration ends in almost 2 weeks already, February 28th. So Special Moments is just on page 14. You'll see it there. And you'll see that it's free with a $100 purchase. So I'm almost afraid to flip my camera, but we'll do it. I'll get through it. So here's the card we're going to stamp. And then I'm going to show you what my warm-up was as well, because I did a warm-up card before I ended up settling on this one. And yeah, this one's just a little bit stepped up from my original that I'll show as I go along. So I'm going to point the camera down, cross your fingers that nothing crazy happens this time. It's kind of been one of those mornings. It's kind of been one of those weekends, but that's okay. Nothing bad has happened. It's just silly things that have happened. So I'm going to point the camera very gently down at my station and find myself again in my feed. Okay. Let's see if I've popped up yet. Okay, here I am. Okay, I don't have the best angle, but I'm afraid to move the camera too much. So I'm just going to roll with this as I'm going here today. So here's my card again, and I'm featuring the Amazing Silhouettes for the image and then Special Moments for the sentiment. So again, here's Amazing Silhouettes from the January to June 2022 mini. And then here is Special Moments from the Sale-A-Bration January-February 2022. So lots of different sentiments, and this one's free with a $100 order. Okay, so let's get these out of the way, and I'm just gonna jump right in and do all my stamping first. So why don't I just do my With Sympathy to start with. I hope I'm still live. I think I'm still live. Let me know if you lose me. It seems that my internet is not very stable, and it's snowing out, so sometimes when the weather's kind of wonky, we have terrible internet. So I ended up using the Scalloped Contours dies. I kind of have a giant mashup going on right now in my project today, but I seem to be nailing the mashups when I'm doing mashups lately. So here's the Scalloped Contours dies, and I really like these because you get all these labels. So I ended up using the smallest one for the sentiment and then the largest one for stamping on. So my With Sympathy is going to be in a basic gray ink, so I'm just going to bring that over. Actually, all my stamping is in basic gray ink, so I'm just going to lightly ink that up and go right onto the die. I did cut this out because it's photopolymer and I could see exactly where I was going. So fits perfectly. This die is kind of an optical illusion when you look at it. It looks so small, but lots of different sentiments fit on it. So, and then I'm going to come over and do my silhouette onto a piece of Designer Series paper. The Designer Series paper started at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then what I did is after I stamped, I cut it out with the largest Scalloped Contours die. So I like stamping on Designer Series paper when it's a light color, but this one is kind of cool because it has this, you know, tree and then the wood grain paper. So I should mention it's from the Heart and Home. And I didn't add a ton of ink onto this stamp. This is actually a distinctive stamp. So they actually don't need a ton of ink, okay? So I'm just gonna go kind of to one side and then commit, and it looks beautiful. And then you get some of the wood grain texture. So I just loved how this came out. I think it's great for a sympathy card. Sympathy cards can be difficult to design, so I just kind of hit the ball out of the park on this one today, because I designed, like, I don't know, I'll end up I think with 4 when I'm done, because I cut apart a whole bunch of paper, and with my warm-up card I think I'll have 4. So after you get this, I then cut it out with the largest Scalloped Contours die, and then I ended up with this. I went to one side a little bit because I'm going to add some detail, but before I do the detail, I'm going to get all this stuff kind of out of the way. I want to add some splattering, and it's a little bit hard to see, so I'm going to try to see if I can come a little bit closer to the camera with this and show you some of the splattering. I added some splattering with Misty Moonlight. Okay, so I want to show you how to do that. And then, of course, I brought in the Misty Moonlight. This is the same paper. This is actually the same side. If you look at the paper that I stamped on, it's wood grain on one side and paisley on the other. So if you're a paisley fan, you might not like this card so much, because I used more of the wood grain. But then I brought over the Misty Moonlight for the splattering, the paper, and then the little twine. And I'll show you how I did the twine too. Okay, so Misty Moonlight. I took my ink pad, whoops, there goes my Pierce mat, but my Misty Moonlight ink pad, and we're going to open it up and use the, just this side, the lid side, I guess. Before, with our old ink pads, you could kind of squeeze the middle and kind of pull your ink in the middle. But with the new ones, I prefer to actually use the re-inker. So, and I'm not going to do this because I have a lot of ink already inside, but what I did is I used my ink refill, and I just opened it up and put 1 drop in the lid. Just, this is a pretty dark color, so you don't need a ton for this technique. So, and I keep moving, I'm sorry I keep moving around. I'm trying to find like the best angle here. So I'll take a sip of tea and wait a minute. Okay, and then I'm going to use my water painters. So let me show you the water painters really quick. The water painters come 3 in a package, and they're 3 different sizes. So this one I think might be the tiny skinniest one I chose. So what I'm gonna do, and this is gonna probably make a mess, but that's okay. This is how I did it originally. It didn't have blue on it earlier, and I didn't clean it, but I'm just gonna squeeze until I have some water coming out kind of on my hand, and then I know I can pick up some from the lid, and I want it wet. So I'm not sure if you saw my hand. So there's my hand, how I rubbed on my hand. You kind of sort of saw it, but sorry, bad angle today. So I want it nice and wet. And then I'm going to actually use the case of my water painter to fleck some splattering onto my project. So you can kind of go fast, go slow, and add, and you could go and add more, like pick up more. And I just have water inside my water painter, tap water. Okay, so you can go crazy, but hopefully you kind of get some of that splattering on there, and you just keep going until you like how it looks, and then stop. Put your lid on and close up your ink pad. You're good to go. Okay, so now I have ink all over my hand, but we'll just keep going. So ignore the ink that's on my hand. So this is actually really super easy to finish it up. I'm just going to layer my pieces, but I want to show you how I did the bow I did do it on my bow maker, but this, again, I used this last week. It's the Flowers for Every Season ribbon combo pack. You get 3 different ribbons, a white ribbon, a just jade gingham ribbon, and then a Misty Moonlight white and silver twine. So I took the twine, and I'm gonna actually just show you. It's 2 8-inch pieces, and I'm just going to take out the Misty Moonlight, separate the Misty Moonlight and the white and the silver. So I'm just gonna kind of unravel a little bit, then you can just pull. So if you kind of unravel the ends a little bit, you can just pull the blue right out. Okay, I'm keeping the white and the silver. I might use that on another project. So, and then I did use my bow maker, but you can just do this kind of like what I say in the air bow, or you could do 2 loops. How about 2 loops and then tie them together? And then just hold in the middle, hold the knot in the middle and pull your ends. This card is really, the colors are really kind of soothing, and that's good for a sympathy card, I hope. Okay, so got my little bow. You see how I did that? And now I can just layer my pieces together. So, sorry Paisley fans. Super simple. And I want to show you, after I get these pieces, how I did my warm-up card. My warm-up card is all basic gray. So I just went for a monochromatic look on my warm-up card. And then with this one, I'm going to show some paisley. I like the liquid glue because I have kind of room to wiggle it around. I wanted to come and cover up some of my little scallops in the die. And then this I'm just going to put on with a little bit of Seal Plus. Every other time I use this, that happens. So there we go, good enough. My little sentiment, and then I can add my bow with a glue dot. So I'm just gonna grab my glue dots, and I put my bow to my glue dot, and then I want to put it to my project. Okay, let's try this one. Okay. And then, I don't know, I picked kind of like a dot in the scallop die where I wanted it, and then I just kind of sort of futzed with it to get it where I wanted it. You can kind of pull the tails at an angle and then cut off your excess. And there you go. So that's it. Super easy. I hope you like the splattering, and we'll try that. And then I hope you'll try stamping on this like wood grain paper from Heart and Home. But let me show you my warm-up card, because my warm-up card was even easier. And I can't think of what they're called, but we do have matte dots in the January to June mini catalog that do come, I believe, in basic gray. So this was my kind of more monochromatic look with just the basic gray. And I think I definitely like adding some of the Misty Moonlight and the splattering, so to step it up a little bit. But this one I plan to add a couple matte dots to finish it off. Then I'll have a couple sympathy cards right in my stash when I need them. So, hope you liked this project for today. Again, BOGO, buy one, get one free sale is ending tomorrow, February 14th. I'll put the camera back at my face. I'm going to go really gently, easy. Okay, great. Here I am again. Yay. Nothing bad happened this time. So BOGO is ending tomorrow, February 14th, and I know some of you are still waiting to get into the group, so I'll go accept you into the group. And I know some of you need help with your orders, so we'll be talking today. Enjoy your day, enjoy the Super Bowl if you're watching just for the game, or if you're watching just for the commercials like me. You know, we were spoiled for so many years having New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, or even Tom Brady when he went to Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. So I'll just be watching, and I think I'm going to root for Cincinnati. I kind of feel like they're the underdog, so I got to root for them. But my favorite teams aren't in it, so let me know if you're rooting for somebody or if you're cooking something special today for Super Bowl. And have a great Valentine's Day, whether you're celebrating with a romantic love, or just friendship love, Galentine's Day, or if you're just celebrating with like your family, your kids, or so have a great week. I will be back next week. Next week I'm going to be here at 9 a.m. I have a family commitment next weekend, so my live is going to go at 9 a.m. So early birds, you might miss it, but that's okay because you can watch the replay here, and you can also watch the replay on YouTube at Create with Christine. And I will have pictures on my blog at christinestamps.blogspot.com of this project and all the products I used, so check that out. And make sure to follow me on Facebook, YouTube at Create with Christine. Have a great week, everybody.